Hello and welcome. My name is Alan, and we are back with more In the Buddha's Words. This was meant to be, of course, Thursday's video. I'm about caught up here. Anyway, yeah, we're getting into the next portion of what we in chapter 4. I keep forgetting. Yeah, chapter 4. Anyway, section 2 here is called The Family. Let's go ahead and get into this. The Family, Part 1, Parents and Children. Section A, Respect for Parents. Monks, those families dwell with Brahma where at home the parents are respected by their children. Those families dwell with the ancient teachers, where at home the parents are respected by their children. Those families dwell with the ancient deities, where at home the parents are respected by their children. Those families dwell with the holy ones, where at home the parents are respected by their children. Brahma, monks, is Brahma, monks, is a term for father and mother. The ancient teachers is a term for mother and father. The ancient deities is a term for mother and father. The holy ones is a term for father and mother. And why? Parents are of great help to their children. They bring them up, feed them, and show them the world. Section 2, Part 1, Section B. Monks, I declare that there are two persons one can never repay. What two? One's mother and father. Even if one should carry about one's mother on one shoulder and one's father on the other, and while doing so should live 100 years, reach the age of 100 years, and if one should attend to them by appointing or anointing them with balms, by massaging, bathing, and rubbing their limbs, and they should even void their excrements there. Even by that would one not do enough for one's parents, nor would one repay them. Even if one were to establish one's parents as the supreme lords and rulers over this earth, so rich in the 7 treasures, one would not do enough for them, nor would one repay them. For what reason? Parents are of great help to their children. They bring them up, feed them, and show them the world. But monks, one who encourages his unbelieving parents, settles and establishes them in faith. One who encourages his immoral parents settles and establishes them in moral discipline. One who encourages his stingy parents settles and establishes them in generosity. One who encourages his ignorant parents settles and establishes them in wisdom. Such a one, monks, does enough for his parents. He repays them, and more than repays them for what they have done. Chapter 4, Section 2, Part 2, Section A. Husbands and wives, different kinds of marriages. On one occasion, the Blessed One was traveling along the highway between Madhura and Varanja, and a number of householders and their wives were traveling along the same road. Then the Blessed One left the road and sat down on a seat at the foot of a tree. The householders and their wives saw the Blessed One sitting there and approached him, having paid homage to him. They sat down to one side, and the Blessed One then said to them, "Householders, there are these 4 kinds of marriages. What for? A wretch lives together with a wretch. A wretch lives together with a goddess. A god lives together with a wretch, and a god lives together with a goddess. And how does a wretch live together with a wretch? Here, householders, the husband is one who destroys life, takes what is not given, engages in sexual misconduct, speaks falsely, and indulges in wines, liquor, and intoxicants, the basis for negligence. He is immoral, of bad character. He dwells at home with a heart obsessed by the stain of stinginess. He abuses and reviles ascetics and Brahmins, and his wife is exactly the same in all respects. It is in such a way that a wretch lives together with a wretch. And how does a wretch live together with a goddess? Here, householders, the husband is one who destroys life, who abuses and reviles ascetics and Brahmins. But his wife is one who abstains from the destruction of life, from wines, liquor, and intoxicants. She is virtuous, of good character. She dwells at home with a heart free from the stain of stinginess. She does not abuse or revile ascetics and Brahmins. It is in such a way that a wretch lives together with a goddess. And how does a god live together with a wretch? Here, householders, the husband is one who abstains from the destruction of life, who does not abuse or revile ascetics and Brahmins, but his wife is one who destroys life, who abuses and reviles ascetics and Brahmins. It is in such a way that a god lives together with a wretch. And how does a god live together with a goddess? Here, householders, the husband is one who abstains from the destruction of life, from wines, liquor, and intoxicants. He is virtuous, of good character. He dwells at home with a heart free of the stain of stinginess. He does not abuse or revile ascetics and Brahmins. And his wife is exactly the same in all respects. It is in such a way that a god lives together with a goddess. These, householders, are the 4 kinds of marriages. Chapter 4, Section 2, Part 2, Section B, How to be United in Future Lives. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling among the Bhaga people near Samsamagiri in the deer park of the Besakala Grove. One morning, the Blessed One dressed, took his upper robe and bow, and went to the dwelling of the householder Nakulapita. Having arrived there, he sat down on the seat prepared for him. Then the householder Nakulapita and the housewife Nakulamata approached the Blessed One, and after paying homage to him, sat down to one side. So seated, the householder, Nakalapita, said to the Blessed One, "Venerable Sir, ever since the young housewife Nakalamata was brought home to me when I too was still young, I am aware of having wronged her even in my thoughts, still less in my deeds. Our wish is to be in one another's sight so long as life lasts, and in the future life as well." Then Nakalamata, the housewife, addressed the Blessed One thus: "Venerable Sir, ever since I was taken to the home of my young husband, Nakalapita, while being a young girl myself, I am not aware of having wronged him even in my thoughts, still less in my deeds. Our wish is to be in one another's sight so long as this life lasts, and in the future life as well." Then the Blessed One spoke thus: "If householders, both wife and husband, wish to be in one another's sight so long as this life lasts, and in the future life as well, they should have the same faith and same moral discipline, the same generosity, the same wisdom, when they will be in one another's sight so long as this life lasts, and in the future life as well. When both are faithful and generous, self-restrained, of righteous living, they come together as husband and wife, full of love for each other. Many blessings come their way. They dwell together in happiness. Their enemies are left dejected when both are equal in virtue. Having lived by Dhamma in this world, the same in virtue and observance, they rejoice after death in the Deva world, enjoying abundant happiness." Chapter 4, Section 2, Part 2, Section C. 7 kinds of wives. On one occasion, the Blessed One was dwelling at Savatthi in Jeddah's grove, Anathapindika's monastery. In the morning, the Blessed One dressed, took his bow and robe, and went to Anathapindika's house, where he sat down in a seat prepared for him. On that occasion, people in the house were making an uproar and a racket. The householder, Anathapindika, approached the Blessed One, paid homage to him, and sat down to one side. The Blessed One then said to him, "Why are people in your house making this uproar and racket, householder? One would think they were fishermen making a haul of fish." "That, venerable sir, is our daughter-in-law, Sujata. She is rich and has been brought here from a rich family. She does not obey her father-in-law and mother-in-law, nor her husband. She does not even honor, respect, esteem, and venerate the Blessed One." Then the Blessed One called the daughter-in-law Sujata, saying, "Come, Sujata." "Yes, venerable sir," she replied, and she went to the Blessed One, paid homage to him, and sat down to one side. The Blessed One then said to her, "There are 7 kinds of wives, Sujata." "What 7?" "One like a slayer, one like a thief, one like a tyrant, one like a mother, one like a sister, one like a friend, and one like a handmaid. These are the 7 kinds of wives. Now which of these 7 are you? I do not understand in detail the meaning of the Blessed One's brief statement. It would be good, Venerable Sir, if the Blessed One would teach me the Dhamma in such a way that I might understand the meaning in detail. Then listen, Sujata, and attend carefully. I will speak. Yes, Venerable Sir, Sujata replied, and the Blessed One said this. With hateful mind, cold and heartless, lusting for others, despising her husband, who seeks to kill the one who brought her, such a wife is called a slayer. When her husband acquires wealth by his craft or trade or farm work, she tries to filch a little for herself. Such a wife is called a thief. The slothful glutton, bent on idling, harsh, fierce, rough in speech. A woman who bullies her own supporter, such a wife is called a tyrant. One who is always helpful and kind, who guards her husband as a mother her son, who carefully protects the wealth he earns, such a wife is called a mother. She who holds her husband in high regard, as younger sister holds the elder born, who humbly submits to her husband's will, such a wife is called a sister. One who rejoices at her husband's sight, as one friend might welcome another. Well raised, virtuous, devoted, such a wife is called a friend. One without anger, afraid of punishment, who bears with her husband free of hate, who humbly submits to her husband's will. Such a wife is called a handmaid. These types of wives here called a slayer, a thief, and the wife like a tyrant. These kinds of wives with bodies break up will be reborn deep in hell. But wives like mother, sister, friend, and the wife called a handmaid, steady in virtue, long restrained, with the body's breakup, go to heaven. These, Sujata, are the 7 kinds of wives. Now which of these are you? Beginning today, Venerable Sir, you should consider me a wife who is like a handmaid. But, yeah. That ends that particular section there, and we'll end that episode as far as the reading. Let's go ahead and look back in the introduction where it talks about these particular pieces and parts here. Okay. And of course, in here he's talking about how mothers and fathers should be seen, how they should be treated, and then how husbands and wives should see each other, how they should be treated. But yeah, in the chapter 4, section 2, part 1, parents and children, and part 2, husbands and wives, and in keeping with the norms of Indian society, in fact, of virtually all traditional agrarian societies, The Buddha regards the family as the basic unit of social integration and acculturation. It is especially the close, loving relationship between parents and children that fosters the virtues and sense of humane responsibility essential to a cohesive social order. Within the family, these values are transmitted from one generation to the next, and thus a harmonious society is highly dependent on harmonious relations between parents and children. The Buddha emphasizes filial piety with text chapter 4, section 2, part 1, section A, and the gratitude of children to their parents, a debt they can adequately repay only by establishing their parents in the proper Dhamma, chapter 4, section 2, part 1, section B. Wholesome relationships between parents and children depend in turn on the mutual affection and respect of husband and wife, and thus the Buddha also offers guidelines for proper relationships between married couples. These again emphasize a common commitment to ethical conduct and spiritual ideas. Of spiritual interest to us at a time when many marriages end so soon in divorce is the Buddha's advice to the loving couple, Nakulapita and Nakulamata, chapter 4, section 2, part 2, section B, on how the love between a husband and wife can be sustained so strongly that they can be reunited in their future lives. This discourse also shows that far from demanding that his lay disciples spurn the desires of the world, the Buddha was already to show those still under the sway of worldly desire how to obtain the objects of their desire. The one requirement he laid down was that the fulfillment of desire be regulated by ethical principles. So yeah, that whole episode with the sections we read is all about essentially family and spouses. So yeah, just how important the relationship between parents and children are, and how that the way you can repay your parents is so thin, because most ways it's not acceptable. It's only in a particular Dhamma that you can truly repay them. And then of course he talks about the relationship between a husband and wife and how it should go. You know, how you should treat each other with love and respect, because mistrust and vileness will get you nowhere. So, yeah. But we'll go ahead and end that episode there. As always, educate thyself. Think, read, study, learn. Someone tells you something you have trouble believing, ask them to cite their sources. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you all in the next one. Until then, later.